I'm Grant Nelson, and welcome to Mustache Off Grid. Hey, come on.
I'm Grant Nelson, and welcome to Mustache Off Grid. Come on.
I'm Grant Nelson, and welcome to Mustache Off Grid. Yeah! God!
God.
Hi, this is Grant Nelson again here with the Mustache Off Grid YouTube channel. And hope you guys enjoyed the trick shot. I really don't know if the first shot went in, so please let me know if it did. I put it in slow-mo and everything, and I could not tell. So if you know, let me know, because I was staring straight at the basket, and I literally do not know. I'm being 100% honest on that. I'm also thinking about changing it to an orange basketball instead of a black basketball. So let me know if you would prefer that as a viewer. And today's topic for off-grid is going to be my water setup. And I have a solar well pump that I bought from RPS Solar and installed it myself. I don't get any money advertising these different products, the RPS Solar. I don't get any money from any of these things I'm talking about. This is an honest review just for my personal use on things that have helped me off grid. So anyway, as far as water goes, food, water, shelter, and heat are the main things you need for survival. I've seen some people do some very good water catchment setups. I had a well drilled and put in a solar well pump. It was a little more expensive, but I also figured, it adds value to the property. It's going to be there for 100 years. And so I had a well drilled and put in this solar well pump to stay off the electrical grid, because I don't really want to hook up to any public utilities. I like doing things that I'm in control of, and I like doing things that are self-sufficient. I don't have to worry if the power goes out, because mine runs by the sun, and I fill up a big water tank. So anyway, that's what the topic's going to be on the day, is off-grid water. That's something really to consider with the region that you go off grid as well. Do you have adequate rainfall to get water from water catchment? Is the groundwater, if you want to use a well, is it a sufficient depth? Out here in the Ozarks, there's plenty of groundwater, but it's very deep because we're in a mountainous region, so there's a lot of bedrock and things like that. So just something to consider. All right, there's a truck going down the road here, so I'm going to hold on to Bailey here because he likes to chase him sometimes. All right, he can get it. Bailey, come here. All right, sorry about that, guys. But anyway, there's a lot of bedrock in the ground out here, and the water's deep in the Ozarks. So something to consider when you go off grid. And make sure you, at the very least, have adequate rainfall to catch enough water to live. I think for 1,000 square feet of roof, 1 inch of water is like 550 gallons. I could be wrong on that math, but I'm pretty sure that's right. I have enough roof space that I could actually do probably 100% water catch off my roofs, and I'd be fine. I think here in the Ozarks we get some of the most rainfall in the United States, so that's definitely a plus. And I actually really like the desert. I love it. I actually lived in Arizona before I moved out here. I thought about doing the off-grid thing in the desert because the land is cheap. But looking at the prices compared to the Ozarks, the cost benefit, it didn't really seem like it was much cheaper than the land out here, to be honest. As far as, you might be able to get double or triple the acres for the same price, but you're not going to be able to get water unless you do water catchment for the most part. You might be able to get water, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. So something to consider if you want to homestead in the desert. I'm not against it. I'm actually for homesteading in any land that's underutilized, any land out there that's rural, doesn't have a lot of rules and regulations, purely free land. I'm all for that. I've seen some people set up some really good water catchment systems in the desert where they could kind of get it to a place where it was almost like a little utopia out there, you know, their own paradise where they had water in the desert like that, an oasis, I guess you'd call it. I'm all for homesteading in the desert if you think you can do it, but food, water, shelter, and heat are what you need to survive. And out there, heat's actually it's the opposite of heat. It's cold. You know, that might be the issue in the desert. So anyway, things to consider going off grid. So we'll get into my water systems. I'll show you what I got. I got a solar well pump. I got water catchment, and I have a drainage pond back in the woods. So we'll get into it here, and thank you for watching the video. I hope this helps someone deciding to go off grid make a good decision. All right, just figured I'd talk about water, off-grid water source. So as far as it goes, food, water, shelter. Come here, Bailey. As far as it goes, food, water, shelter, and heat, you know, are what you need to survive off the land. And you need to get those three things. And water, some people use water catch. I have a well. I had it drilled. I had someone come here and drill the well, and I put a solar well pump on. It's all self-install, and you can see the hose right here. It uses polyethylene hose. You can see the hose right here. I just fill up this big tank right here, and works really well. When the storm came in, I had to empty the tank out and refill it after the negative temperatures left, but I ordered it from RPS Solar, so that's what I use. If I want to wash up, I have a big, how big is that pot? I think like a 12-quart stock pot that I boil up on my propane stove, and that's how I stay clean out here. I do that about 3 times a week, I'd say. Definitely before church and some other things like that. But yeah, I just figured I'd show you guys what I use for water. I also have a rain barrel off my roof right here that I made, a little gutter off the roof. And I needed a gutter actually because it was making a big puddle right on the ground in front of my building where I walk out. So it actually works well. I use it to water my garden. You can use it to clean your pots and pans, things like that. But that's another option, is water catchment. I've seen some very good water catchment systems that people have. Doug and Stacy Off Grid do their whole thing water catchment. I'm probably gonna, on that building down there, I'm probably gonna add another one of these tanks on it and actually do just a water catch off that. And I'm building an off-grid shower off the back side of it, which I haven't started yet, but it's going to be a pretty quick and easy project. I just ordered a propane burner for it, so when I do that project, I'll show you guys. But I'm going to add another gutter off the back side of that building and have a water catch shower back there. And I also use this, obviously I use these tanks. You can get them, I bought them at Hirsch Farm and Feed in town. Food grade is $80, non-food grade is $40. If you wash it out enough, you could probably use the non-food grade, but I figured I'd be safe on it. This thing's a big old stock tank that I got. I also fill that up with water. I water my garden out of that mostly. In the summertime when it's real hot, I'll empty it out and clean it a few times, and if it's 100 degrees plus, I'll swim in there. Just kind of sit in there with a nice cold drink and swim. And sometimes the trees give you a little bit of shade here, and it's real nice, especially in the evening, especially on a 100-degree day. The water feels like a nice warm bath water on a day like that. So yeah, I swim in that little tank there if it's a real hot day. You know, I fill up both things. I water my garden out of that. I mean, I could use it in an emergency too and boil it up, whatever, but not a big deal. And then I use this tank here for drinking water and everything like that. And I have a rain barrel up there, and then I'm gonna add another barrel back there with one of these big what do you call them, totes. Yeah, they're totes, that's what they call them. So yeah, I just figured I'd show you guys my water setup. RPS Solar's who I got it through. I'm not going to be shy. The whole thing for the well pump costed $2,800 with the pipe, the solar panels. They delivered it all right to my house and I installed it. I thought that was pretty good, being, you know, to get a regular well pump, I would have had to hook up to electricity, and it probably would have been close to $2,000 plus because I don't have any pipe yet. So it's not like they're just replacing the pump. So yeah, there's some information on my water system out here off grid. Just figured I'd show you guys. And you know, it's all solar ran. I'd say one of the tanks probably lasts me, if I had to guess, probably about I use probably about 1.5 a month, I'd say. So I fill it up about once a month. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's a great system if you're going off grid. My well is 235 foot deep. Out here in the Ozarks, they generally run, most houses have them about 300 to 400 foot. Some places even deeper than that. So that is something to consider about the Ozarks. Because the wells are so deep, generally speaking, you can expect to spend at least, I got lucky with mine. I mean, I didn't think it was luck. I was blessed by the Lord, but it ended up being 235 feet. It was about $6,900 to drill the well. If it would have been 300 foot, it probably would have been roughly $9,000. If it would have been deeper than that, you know, it can run you up into the teens. So just keep in mind, it's a crapshoot when you're drilling the well on how deep it is going to be before they hit water. So just keep that in mind. If you're getting a well drilled in the Ozarks, the wells are deep, it can cost you $10,000 plus, and you should expect to spend that if you're drilling a well in the Ozarks. And then your well pump's also going to cost you at least $2,000. So just keep that in mind if you're drilling a well. You know, if you want to go the cheaper route, I could probably catch enough water for myself off that building, this building, that building, and my sheep's building. And I could get enough water to live. So if you want to do it cheaper, water catchment is the cheaper option. But I like to have options. So I can use water catchment. I can use the well pump. I also have a pond back in the woods. It's a drainage pond, but you know, I can go back there and get water. It's generally holds water 9-10 months out of the year. Hey. And then, you know, I have the rain barrels and everything else. So I like to have multiple options for water. And yeah, I even do my laundry back here. I take one of these big tubs like this, and you know, if I have a couple pairs of jeans and shirts and things like that, I use that big old 5-gallon pail of laundry detergent, just swish them around in the water up and down, and you can do your laundry in a bucket like that. It's really actually kind of satisfying seeing all the dirt come out. So but yeah, I do my laundry, drink the water, use the water to stay clean. As far as it goes, you can drill well. It's expensive out here in the Ozarks. You can use water catchment. We get, I think, 2nd or 3rd most rain in the United States, so that's actually a really good option out here, water catchment. I've seen people run whole farms off water catchment. Doug and Stacy off grid, they do a very good water catchment. That's all they use, and they have a huge, pretty nice homestead out there. Actually, it's about the same size land-wise as mine. It's about 10.5 acres. So mine's about 11 or 12. So Yeah, I mean, as far as it goes, water catchment's an option. Solar well pump's a good option for off-grid. Especially if you already have an existing well. I like the well too because it adds a little bit of value to the property. Yeah, I mean, having a rain barrel, things like that are good backup options too. Because, you know, your well pump could break or something like that. RPS Solar has been really great. They have great customer service. They deliver everything right to your door. It's all self-install. I had to roll out the polyethylene pipe from about over there all the way to over by the rabbits, and you know, then I lowered it down into the well and installed it all myself. And they have great tutorial videos on how to install them. It's really not that hard, but I learned a lot too about solar hooking it up. So I actually really was happy that I did go that route because I learned a lot of information on the well pump and on solar power. So something to consider. You know, solar well pumps, water catchment, pond, however you want to do it. You know, food, water, shelter, and heat are what you need to survive off grid. So there you go. I'll let you guys go here. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, or both, if you enjoyed the video. And thank you for watching. All right, now I'm going to show you guys how I like to do my laundry. I got a couple blankets I'm actually washing today because I spilled some coffee on them. It's very abnormal, actually. I was drinking coffee and I fell asleep, spilled it on my blankets. So what are the odds of something like that, huh? But anyway, I usually just use a 5-gallon bucket. Sometimes the black feed tubs that I have, that I showed earlier in the video, can be good for it as well, I think. But you can do it with just the 5-gallon bucket. So, you know, I usually take this, I like to buy my laundry detergent in bulk. There's a store out here that sells it in bulk, and it's cheaper than buying it from the store in the big gallons. So, you know, I usually throw some detergent in. Probably put some on the other blanket as well, but because that's a lot. But this is the first blanket I'm washing. So, you know, first thing, you can soak them first, but they're gonna shrink up. And obviously, washing blankets, each time you wash them, they're gonna lose a little bit of their kind of warmth, fluffiness, all that. So something to consider. It's a cold day today. I usually don't like to wash on cold days as much. Because it's cold. So, yeah. But basically, it's a lot easier with shirts and jeans and stuff. I wash my blankets, but you know, it's not the thing that you wash every day like your clothes. So, but this time they got dirty enough that I kind of had no choice but to wash them. So, you can see that it's soaking up all the water. And I kind of go up and down in the bucket like this once you get enough water in there. This one still could use a little more. Man, this morning it was super cold, but it's starting to warm up a little better now. By the way, if you guys watched the truck video of me fixing the thermostat on my truck, it's got a cracked head, so it's not a good situation. Basically, it's totaled, so it'll drive home, but it's totaled. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe something creative. So basically you put your soap and water in here and just kind of swish it around a little bit. You know, I'm gonna go get a feed tub actually. I think that'll help me a lot here. Now it is absolutely amazing. It's amazing to me how dirty the clothes, like how much dirt comes out when you are washing stuff like this. But you can see it's a little bit of a process. And it's a lot better on a nice warm day than it is on a day like today, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, not a big deal. And basically swish it around in there, try to get it as clean as you can. And I don't really care how good you are, it's never going to be 100% where the water is crystal clear. Just don't happen. Not even in a washing machine does that happen. That's why they close it, so you don't see it. But basically you just kind of soap it around here, and it's kind of satisfying seeing the dirt come out, honestly. It's kind of a satisfying thing. And it's a lot easier with two people because one person can hang them and one person can fill the bucket up, and you know, while the other one is moving it around. But I just do it myself because I'm just out here by myself, so not a big deal. But it is really a good, if you have two people, it's a nice, easy two-person job. And truthfully, it's one of those things, I don't really mind it, but I'd mind it less if, I didn't have other better things to do than wash clothes. So that's just an opinion, of course, but and you kind of want to drain it. Don't want to get in that muddy water right now. So move it over here. And sometimes if it's a real bad day, I'll go to the laundromat. Just kind of a cheat code, I guess you could call it. But yeah, and you could get pretty wet doing this if you want, so something to think about for sure. Cold day, guys. My hands are getting cold. And I'll show you guys some clothes, how I do the clothes, because the blankets take a little longer, honestly. And I think that the clothes is a little easier process. I usually take, if we're standardizing it, I usually take 2 feed tubs and fill them both up. You can throw some clothes in there. You throw your clothes in, fill up the feed tub. Make sure your pockets are empty, of course, you know. The blankets are a little more of a pain, to be honest with you. They're more of a single wash kind of deal. Bailey, come here. So I'll probably pull this one aside and fill up the other tub. You can see here I kind of wring them out a little bit. You know, I haven't put any soap in them yet, but you know, kind of move them up and down, spin them around. This one's a little overpacked, to be honest with you, but you know, kind of up and down like that. And I haven't put any soap in this yet. You can wash them without soap, and they will get pretty clean, believe it or not, but obviously soap is something that's going to help you a lot when you do this kind of thing right here. Really pulls some of the dirt out. But you can see the clothes are a lot easier to clean than the blankets. You can probably just see that as I'm washing them, but and I'm gonna put the soap in this tub. We'll do 3. I usually do I would say about 3 rinses. You know, I put them in the soap once and then I rinse them a few times. So I would say about 2 or 3 rinses, pretty good. It definitely is good to wring the stuff out before you put in the next rinse if you can. Just helps get some of the dirt out, I'd say. But you wring them best you can. And if you get a stain, obviously just like regular laundry, you can kind of try to buff it out and put extra soap into it or something like that. And honestly, I believe that the less clothes you have off grid, the better off you are. But you can see the water here, real dirty, and it started out just perfectly clear. So anyway, this I'll pull aside here and fill up a rinse tub. So basically you're just rotating tubs. Back and forth, you're rotating tubs until your clothes are perfectly clean. Rotate tubs until they're perfectly clean. Right there. You can see it's a little bit more of a chore, and it's a manual process, but it can be done, you know, it ain't bad. And it does clean your clothes. Like, I can promise you, it cleans your clothes. And sometimes I'll wear the same pair of pants a few days. You know, as far as it goes, our society is super clean. And I try to stay as clean as I can, but it was a whole nother ball game back in the 1800s, 1700s. It wasn't like we are now, where we're kind of like almost germaphobes about things. And I like being clean. I'm a very clean person, but sometimes you get dirty out here. Bailey! Man, I believe it was a full moon last night, and he is just going crazy today. I don't know what his deal is. I tend to pay a lot of attention to the moon because I like, you know, watching the animals and seeing how they react to different moon phases. I also like to plant some of my garden on certain moon phases. Like, I like to plant my squash seeds on a full moon, I think. That's what I did last year, and they did very well, so. But Bailey! Call him, he'll be here in a minute. He's like a baby, I gotta watch him all the time. Bailey! 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 So you kind of move it around. You can use a stick for this too, actually. Some people like to use a stick if they don't want to put their hand in it. I'm fine with putting my hand in it. I think I can do a little better job when I do that, but Bailey! And like I said, it's real satisfying seeing the dirt come out of the clothing. Really satisfying. There he is. He came back. Yeah, you can see how dirty that water gets. And basically you just keep doing this till they're clean. So and truthfully, I actually think that the clothes actually get cleaner this way, believe it or not. That's just an opinion, of course, but just what I've seen. But anyway, guys, this is how I do my laundry. And then I go and hang them on the fence. So I'll show you guys. All right, guys. You can see I got my laundry hung on the fence row here. And it took me an hour and a half for all that laundry right there. So it takes a little longer, but you know, if you already have the water on hand and you don't want to buy a washer and you don't want to go through all the hassle, you know, of all that, you can wash them in 5-gallon buckets if you really want to do it like they did in the olden days. You know, you can get a washboard or just buckets like I had and wash your clothes. So anyway, I kind of enjoy it when I have time. One of those things, just, you know, relax on it. You don't got to rush, but it took me about an hour and a half for the 3 blankets and all the clothes. So all right, guys, and final tips for the video. This can take an hour or two to wash all your clothes, especially if you have a big bunch. Sometimes in the summertime I also use this tank. I'll put all of them in there and dump it out and rinse it out, you know, 2 or 3 times. So that's another option. If you get a bigger tank, that can make it go a little faster. Just know that this can take, you know, an hour or two. It's a little bit longer process, but I already drilled the well. You know, it cost me probably 10 bucks every time I go to the laundromat to wash all my clothes. So, you know, in the long run, I figure, you know, saves me money. It's not a lot, but it's like 10 bucks for an hour or two of my day to wash my clothes. It's worth it to me. it's self-sufficient, you know, but you're going to need water to water your animals, wash your clothes, drink, grow your garden. Water is very important. That's basically the whole point of the video. I just figured you guys would enjoy seeing how I wash my laundry, and maybe someone that goes off grid might not be sure what to do. You know, if they don't have a laundry mat, or if they're looking for an option, just get yourself a couple buckets and some detergent, and there you go. All right, guys, and all this talk about the importance of water off grid, and as far as it goes, there's one thing that is more important than water off grid, and what that is, you guys might have guessed it, it's Jesus Christ. And if you look in the Bible, John 4:14, and it says here, "But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up in the everlasting life." And as far as it goes, you know, if you're going off grid and you know, you're wanting to get water, you know, first you should get Jesus, and then he'll give you that water, spiritual, and I believe physical, truthfully. The well drillers had that verse on the side of their truck when they came and drilled my well, and it was about 100 feet shallower than it was I thought it was going to be. So it probably saved me about $3 or $4 grand when I was drilling the well. And I believe that was the Lord. I had prayed for it. But, you know, like I said, if you haven't found Jesus, you know, look into it. There's a lot of great things in the Bible. And John 4:14, "But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up in the everlasting life." Beautiful verse. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have more in the future. This is just you know, the importance of water off grid. Food, water, shelter, and heat or climate control, you know, if you're in the desert, like I said earlier, but are the most important things to consider. So hope you guys have a great day, and God bless.